Hello, and
The
welcome back to another episode of From Tears to Talking, the podcast for parents and educators who are ready to ditch the power struggles and take a calmer, more connected approach to behavior and emotions. I'm your host, Ashley Bell, school counselor and mom of two kids who keep me practicing my patience and growing as a person every single day. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with me here today. I know your time is valuable, and I appreciate you spending some of it with me. In last week's episode, we talked about setting boundaries without yelling, how to be clear, calm, and consistent while holding limits that actually stick. And today, we're tackling something that stings. Have you ever had a child look at you and say, "I hate you," or "You're the worst"? What about "Leave me alone, I don't want you here"? Or the most devastating, "I wish you weren't my mom, dad, teacher," insert whatever title of importance you hold to that child. Those words hit hard, even when we know they don't fully mean them. So, in today's episode, we're going to talk about why kids say mean things in the heat of the moment, how to respond without making it worse, and what those words really mean, and how to use them as teachable moments without taking them personally. Of course, I've got a craftivity for you at the end that helps kids build emotional language and respectful expression. And I'll wrap it all up with a simple action step you can use this week. We've got a lot to cover, so let's dive in. Let's start with the big question. Why do kids say mean things? Here's the truth. When children feel overwhelmed, angry, powerless, or embarrassed, they often reach for the most hurtful words they can find. Not because they really want to hurt you, but because they don't yet know how to express what's going on underneath those feelings of hurt. They're not trying to destroy you, even if it feels like it. They're saying, "I'm mad. I feel out of control. I don't know how to handle this moment, and I want you to feel what I feel." At their core, children are still learning how to recognize, label, and manage their emotions. When emotions run high, their logical brain, the part responsible for thoughtful decision making, temporarily goes offline, leaving their emotional brain in control. This emotional state triggers a defensive reaction, prompting them to say whatever comes to mind, even if it's hurtful, in a desperate attempt to regain control or express their emotional pain. Understanding this dynamic doesn't excuse those hurtful words, but it does help to explain them. It also guides our response. Instead of responding with anger, punishment, or shame, we have a powerful opportunity to teach children essential skills like emotional regulation, effective communication, and empathy. Skills we can actively teach in these moments include building emotional vocabulary by helping children accurately name their feelings, self regulation techniques like using strategies like deep breathing, counting to 10, or taking a calming break, empathy building, where you encourage children to think about how their words affect others, as well as problem solving skills. You're guiding them through identifying their feelings and brainstorming healthier ways to express frustration or disappointment. By staying calm and empathetic, we not only diffuse immediate conflicts, but also create powerful, teachable moments that support children's emotional growth and long term relationship skills. Before we talk too deeply about what to do in these types of emotionally charged situations, let's go over a few things to avoid when your child says something hurtful. Whatever you do not respond with harsh words in return. It might be difficult, but do not shame or match their energy. That can escalate the situation and cause the child to become combative or defensive. During these situations, that logical brain turns off and they are not able to reason anymore. So stay strong, do not take it personal, and model the appropriate behavior you are wanting to see from your child. No matter what, we cannot stoop to their level or match that energy. We have to diffuse and help the child regroup. I have to be honest for a minute. This is something I personally really struggle with. It cuts me to my core when my children, the two that I birthed, not my kids at school, disrespect me. It is really hard for me not to take it personally and be triggered into matching their energy. I have to actively practice and remind myself that I'm the adult and that I'm not being personally attacked. I'm the safe space where my kids' big emotions land. But sometimes that's not easy. So, whatever you do not say anything like, "Well, I don't like you either right now," or immediately try to implement consequences such as "you're grounded for saying that," or matching their negative energy and saying something like, "How dare you speak to me like that?" This is the main one that I struggle with, as it's my first instinct to respond out of like pain. But I've had to make sure that I, as the adult, am regulated so I can help regulate my child. So, no matter how much these types of responses may feel warranted in the moment, they might feel like the right way to teach a lesson, but they often escalate the situation or shut the situation down before learning can happen. It also inadvertently sends the message to your child that you're not on the same team right now. And if any of these sound like your current response types, it is not too late to change how you respond in these moments and model that desired behavior for your child. Another important thing to keep in mind is to not try to logic them out of these feelings in the heat of the moment. Trying to explain how much you do for them, how ungrateful they're being, or how hurtful their words are will likely go unheard in the heat of the moment. Their emotional brain is in charge, that logical brain is offline. Try to remember that. You're not dealing with your logical child in that moment. So that means your best bet is to de escalate first, then address the words later when the emotions are calm. All of this sounds really great on paper, but what do you do in real life? In the heat of the moment, when emotions are heightened and your child says something mean or cruel, what do you do? Next time you find yourself in a similar situation, try this 3 step reset response. The first step is to stay centered. First, you're just going to breathe. Literally, just breathe. Plant your feet, lower your voice. You can squeeze your hands together or apply a squeeze like pressure to your arms to help ground yourself and remain calm. Take deep, calming breaths. Walk away if you need to, as long as your child is safe, and do not respond immediately. Instead, remind yourself this is a child having a big emotion. This is not a personal attack. For me, I repeat over and over, they are not giving me a hard time, they are having a hard time. They are not giving me a hard time, they are having a hard time. I just repeat this over and over until the urge to match their vibe passes. Even with all of my credentials, all of my training, I too sometimes have trouble staying calm and grounded when being what feels like personally attacked by children. It does not happen often, but I have had the occasional child at school tell me that I'm the worst or that they are so annoyed with me. I once had a fifth grade student look me directly in my eyes and tell me I was the worst counselor ever and that they must be really struggling to find people to hire. All because I was holding them accountable for flipping a desk and running out of their classroom. Their words tore me apart at first. It was my first year in my career. There really was a shortage, and based on a few of the people I was working with, it did feel like they were hiring just about anyone. And let's be real, imposter syndrome is so real. This kid's words cut through my soul and kind of rocked the foundation of who I thought I was for a minute there. I had to really dig deep and remember that this child was trying their best to hurt me because they were hurting. So, with my feelings still very much hurt, I approached them from a place of empathy. That child went on to say a bunch more hurtful stuff that in my younger years I would have had to like unpack in therapy, but we eventually found out what was underneath and causing that child to hurt so deeply. And we were eventually able to solve the problem together. It was hard, it took a lot of time, and frankly, it was hurtful to everyone involved. But eventually, we got a breakthrough and we were able to build and strengthen our relationship as we problem solved together. We made amazing progress that year. And no, they never apologized for their harsh words. And yes, I was not their only adult victim that year. You can't win them all. So, another time when I was administering the state exams at school, a student threw their test booklet across the table and yelled, "I can't do this. This is just too much." Instead of reacting to the outburst, I kept my voice calm and I said, "I can see you're feeling overwhelmed. Let's take a break, grab a drink of water, and come back and try again." After a few minutes of stepping away, we regrouped. They shared that they were just stuck and didn't know how to get the paragraph they were trying to write started. The prior outburst wasn't about refusal or not wanting to do the test. It was about needing support and just a moment to breathe. And that realization helped us both move forward. So, Before you do anything, you are going to breathe and make sure that you are completely calm so that you can approach the child from a place of empathy and understanding. Second, you're going to clearly set the limits, calmly, but clearly name the boundary. It's okay to say to a child, I'm not okay with those words, and I'm going to take a breath so that I can stay calm. Or something like, I understand that you're hurting, but it's not okay to hurt others. You're modeling exactly what you want them to do someday when they hear something unkind. Try phrases such as, I understand you're upset, but yelling at me isn't okay. Or you can tell me without using hurtful words. Or I'm here when you're ready to talk respectfully. Or maybe even, it's all right to express your feelings, but let's do it kindly. Or something like, I won't let you speak to me that way. We can talk when you're ready to use respectful words. Or you can be straightforward and say something like, it's okay to be mad. It's not okay to be mean. Short, simple, no lectures. The key here is to keep your response short and simple, but firm, without resorting to lectures or lengthy explanations. Their brain is not in the right place for that. Clearly communicating the boundary shows your child that certain behaviors are unacceptable, but it also reassures them that you're available and supportive. This helps your child feel secure, even when emotions are running high, and provides a clear explanation of respectful communication. Step 3 is circle back later. Once the storm has passed, and only after everyone has calmed down, it's time to circle back. This is where the real teaching happens. Not when emotions are running high, but when connection is restored and the logical brain is back online. Start gently. You might say something like, hey, earlier you were really upset. Let's talk about it for a minute. Then ask open-ended questions that help your child reflect without shame or blame. Things like, what were you feeling when you said those words? What do you wish you had said instead? What's a better way to tell me you're mad next time? Give them space to think. Their answers might surprise you. And even if they struggle, you're planting seeds for emotional awareness, problem solving, and self control. And remember, this is not about lecturing or punishing. It's about helping them build the tools they'll need to handle big feelings more skillfully in the future. And always end the conversation with reassurance. A simple, I love you even when you're upset. Or, we all make mistakes. What matters is how we learn and grow from them. Something like that can make all the difference. So let's quickly sum up that 3-step formula for handling hurtful words with calm, connection, and purpose. Step 1 was regulate. Focus on calming yourself and your child. When emotions are high, nothing productive happens. Take a breath, step away if you need to, help your child settle their body and brain before you move forward. Step 2, set the limit. Once you're calm, clearly but kindly name the boundary. Keep it short and simple. Saying things like, I won't let you speak to me that way. We can talk when you're ready to use respectful words. You're not lecturing, you're calmly holding the line. Step 3, circle back later. After the dust has settled, that's when you reflect and teach. Gently ask questions like, what were you feeling when you said that? What's a better way to tell me you're mad next time? This is where the real learning happens, not in the heat of the moment, but when safety and connection have been restored. So remember, regulate, set the limit, circle back later. It's simple, but it is a powerful roadmap to help you move from hurt to healing or from tears to talking. Now, let's talk about this week's free craftivity, the Calming Strategies poster. Sometimes when big feelings take over, it's hard for kids and even adults to find the right words or any words at all. That's why one of the best things you can do is equip them with calming strategies that they can use before emotions get too big. To help you put today's episode into action, I'm sharing my Calming Strategies poster, a simple, kid-friendly visual you can print and start using right away. You can use it to talk with your child about different ways to calm down when they're upset. Practice picking a strategy before big feelings take over. Give kids a clear, positive plan for what to do when they feel mad, hurt, or frustrated. You can print the poster across multiple pages using your printer's poster setting, tape all those pages together, and create a full-size display to hang up in your child's room, hallway, calming corner, homeschool space, or classroom. You can have your kids circle strategies that work well for them and cross out strategies that do not work well for them. This gives your child a fun, hands on way to personalize their calming strategies poster while reinforcing the skills they're learning. When we teach kids how to calm first, connect second, and talk it out third, we're not just stopping hurtful words, we're building lifelong emotional regulation skills. You can grab the Calming Strategies poster by clicking the link in the show notes, enter your email address, and it will magically appear in your inbox. All right, let's take a minute to recap what we've learned today because we talked about a lot. Number one, mean or hurtful words usually come from big feelings, not true intentions. Number two, in those moments, your job isn't to argue or punish. It's to regulate first, set a clear limit, and circle back later to reflect and teach. And number three, even though it stings, you don't need to take those words personally. Kids are still learning how to handle frustration, disappointment, and anger, and you are their safe place to practice. What an incredible, yet terrifying honor. If you want a simple, visual tool to help with this, don't forget to grab the free Calming Strategies poster linked in the show notes. And of course, your action step for this week, choose just one replacement phrase you'll model the next time your child lashes out. When they say something hurtful, say the better words for them until they're ready to use them on their own. You might say, "You're mad. Did you want to say that didn't feel fair instead?" Modeling gives them the words they don't have yet and builds their emotional vocabulary little by little. Thank you so much for joining me today and for showing up for your kids even when it's messy and hard, especially when it's hard. That's when it matters most. Next week, we're diving even deeper into those big feelings with emotional volcanoes, understanding and managing anger before it erupts. If you've ever felt like your child goes from fine to meltdown in a matter of seconds, this next episode is for you. We'll talk about how anger builds up like a volcano, how to spot the warning signs early, and how to teach calming strategies before emotions erupt. Until then, stay calm, stay kind, and remember, your child's words don't define their heart, and you are the safe place that helps them figure it all out. Until next time, good luck on your journey from tears to talking.